Okay, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be talking a little bit about meal planning and nutrition. So, I find that a lot of people maybe don't know how to meal plan, how to prep their food, because it can be really hard when you're a professional or you're doing things or you're in school or whatever you're doing with your life. It can be really hard to track your food and really kind of get results from it, right? So a couple of things that I've come across and I've learned that really help me out, and maybe that you may want to consider incorporating, because a lot of nutrition is mindset. It's also maybe if you have a culture that makes it a little bit more difficult for you to implement certain foods and a certain diet protocol. There's a lot of different factors that can come into play, and so maybe today's video will help you kind of identify what protocol you can use for your goals. There's typically three main goals that people have. They either want to maintain their weight, they want to gain weight, meaning they want to put more muscle on, or they want to lose weight, meaning they want to lose fat tissue, right? So if your goal is to gain weight, to build muscle tissue, then you have to eat more than you expend. And then with that, you can't just be sitting and eating. You want to be eating and then lifting weights to help grow muscle. If you're a male, then that makes things a lot easier to help grow the muscle tissue because of hormones. Women can build just as much as men if she is, has an advantage in her genetic profile. So that's that. If you want to lose weight, then you want to eat less than what you would, than what you are expending. And then if you want to maintain, you want to basically maintain at a nutrition protocol or a nutrition energy intake that is sustainable for your lifestyle so that you can maintain your weight. Now I'm going to make it very simple because a lot of people they need that kind of simplicity. They need somebody to kind of tell them like what to eat. I would suggest to eat 3 to 5 meals a day. So if you are working a 9 to 5 job, I would say eat something in the morning, eat something at breakfast or lunch. And then if you're going to train after your work, then I would suggest eating a light snack between your lunch and your 5 p.m. and then go and train and then eat dinner after. I like to eat dinner usually before I train. Just kind of depends on how I feel. But I like to feel relatively full, but it depends on your type of training, right? If you're trying to like lose weight or something, then obviously that's going to be a little different than if you are trying to gain weight or what have you. So that's my tip number one, is to eat between 3 to 5 meals a day. I have found that when you eat more often, that can kind of trick your mental psychology into thinking you're eating a lot more, especially if you incorporate voluminous foods into your life. So voluminous foods are things like berries, certain types of rice, certain types of beans. Although they tend to have a lot more calories, but it can make you feel a bit more full, a little bit more satisfied. So that's one. Another very voluminous food, the berries, but things that have a high water content. So like watermelon and melons are super great. Bananas are super high in carbs and very low volume, so not the best food if you're trying to eat lots of voluminous foods, but that's something you can kind of try. Okay, another thing I have here, actually quickly say, is what kind of job do you have, or what kind of career do you have? Are you a business professional? Are you a doctor? Are you an artist? Are you a creator online? Are you skateboarder? Are you a professional athlete? Do you work a sedentary job? All of these things you have to consider when you're doing your meal plan because of your time, right? a skateboarder, for example, professional skateboarder or content creator, is going to have a very different lifestyle than, say, an emergency room surgeon or emergency room doctor, right? So the doctor may not have that flexibility to be carrying around her or his food and eating exactly at the same time every day, because that's the nature of their profession. They are constantly on the run and every day is different. Whereas a content creator maybe has a business, they have much more, say in their schedule. They have less. The predictability is more higher, if you will. Yeah, lower predict, higher predict. Anyways, it's easier to plan if you're in that group than if you are a doctor or surgeon or whatever. So, what kind of job do you have? If you have a simple, very strict schedule, then you can basically split it up in times, right? There's a lot of people that eat at the same time every day. They eat the same kinds of foods, and it works for them. It can get very boring and monotonous. One of the problems with doing that, though, is that your body can adapt to the foods that you're eating, and over time, you may notice that your gut might not be as may not have the diversity it needs because you're constantly feeding it the same kinds of foods. So you want to make sure you have consistency, but also variety in your food. And that comes with making sure that the vegetables and the fruits are different colors, right? So you want to eat, things like beets, spinach, maybe butternut squash, some quinoa, celery, cucumber, arugula, kale, red onion, ginger, right? All these different kind of colors to make sure you have a nice healthy gut. Some of the minerals that I want to quickly dive into is that you want to kind of track, because you don't really want to rely on a multivitamin. You want to really get your nutrients from your food. And if you're constantly eating sugar or filler type of foods, it can affect your gut. And if your gut is affected, that can affect your ability to absorb the nutrients from your food. If you are not absorbing nutrients from your food, you're not going to get the most out of your food. If you don't get the most out of your food, then you won't gain weight, you won't gain muscle, you won't lose weight. So it's really important to eat foods that are quality and making sure that you're actually absorbing the foods. So a couple of the minerals that are super important. One of them first is calcium. So calcium is high in dairy products. So if you are, you drink milk, that's something that you can use. If you don't if you're lactose intolerant or you don't want to do milk, cow milk, you can look into almond milk. I love almond milk, so that's something I use. You can use rice milk, cashew milk, flaxseed milk. What else? Coconut milk. I believe coconut milk is pretty high in calcium, if I remember correctly. But almond milk is super high. It's about 450 milligrams per 8 ounces. For cow milk, you get about 300 milligrams of calcium per 8 ounces. And not to mention, cow milk is super high in sugars. That's kind of why I'm not a huge proponent of that. But it's still quality milk, still quality, a great option that you can use. Another mineral that you really want to keep track of, going back to calcium, another food that's high in calcium is broccoli. So calcium is super important for them strong and healthy bones, right? You want to make sure your bones are nice and healthy, because you can't really rely always on weights to help build the bone strength. You got to do it through nutrition too. Okay, the next one is copper. I'm not going to dive into that, but there is a possibility of being high in toxicity in copper if you're a female, if you use some sort of birth control, the copper IUD, for example. But I won't touch up on that. The next one is iron, specifically catered to the females and to the women. Iron is super necessary, right? Because when she has her menstrual cycle, when the woman has her menstrual cycle, she's losing a lot of blood. She's losing a lot of iron. Okay, iron is found in the blood. So you want to make sure you're getting that. Another one is magnesium. Magnesium is, you can do like magnesium bath salts. You can do magnesium, I believe, in bananas, it's super high. But magnesium is super helpful if you are feeling sore, right? So if you feel kind of exhausted, taking some magnesium can help counterbalance that, and make you feel a little bit more recovered. The last mineral that I'm going to list that is necessary for meal planning is zinc and potassium. So typically, potassium helps if you have like muscle cramps and like a Charlie horse and electrolytes, I believe. And I'm not going to touch up on zinc. Zinc is really good for your skin, for the face, like the skin on your face, to protect it from the sun. But so that's kind of the micronutrients when it comes to meal planning. So the point of me kind of bringing those up is to make sure that you're including a variety of foods in your nutrition, right? So just have 3 meals a day, maybe bulk cook your food on Sunday for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, bulk cook your food on Wednesday for Thursday and Friday, and repeat that process. I find that if you bulk cook your, stepping over my words, if you bulk cook your food on Sunday, by Friday, your food's gonna feel a little dry and bland. So I personally don't like to do that. I think that cooking it for maybe 2 or 3 days in advance is much more efficient and much more practical. Another tip that you can do is you don't have to get fresh fruit. A lot of people think they have to get fresh fruit. You can just get bagged frozen fruit, and it does its job just fine. It actually may just about hold the same amount of nutrients as fresh fruit, and it's technically a little bit more affordable, a little bit more cheaper per weight than fresh fruit. If you are one of my good friends, he doesn't like to eat vegetables, so he actually drinks his vegetables. So you can blend your vegetables, right? You can just blend spinach and maybe with an apple, put it in a blender, and then just drink your vegetables instead of eating them. You can actually get pre-packed vegetable pouches at your grocery store. Not my personal favorite, because I have found that when you bite on the vegetables, you can actually help to break down the nutrients and absorb it a little better than if you blend it. But if you really are opposed to that, that's another option that you can try. And then, of course, just mixing in your veggies with your nutrition. So if you don't like spinach, just cut it up really tight, like really small, and just eat it with your chicken with the condiment like mustard or ketchup or Greek yogurt, right? So there's just different ways to manipulate your nutrition so that you can get your food down to your stomach. So those are a couple of my tips with meal planning. Mainly, I would say, is include variety, right? It's really important for the gut to have that variety. It is possible for your body to start eating itself. So this is why nutrition is so important. I would say nutrition is much more important in terms of priority than if you're just trying to like lift weights, because lifting weights is great, but it will not go anywhere if you're not feeding your body well. So it's important to start eating well and maintain that status as you keep lifting weights, as you know, to build your body. Okay, I will stop the video there. I didn't list other vitamins, but other vitamins that you need to kind of be mindful of, that I think a lot of people are very deficient in, are the vitamin Bs, the B vitamins. So like pantothenic acid, which is really good for your skin. If you have acne, typically you're low on pantothenic acid, which is vitamin B5. Then you have vitamin B1, thiamine, vitamin B2, riboflavin, vitamin B12. You have folate, you have vitamin A, C, D, E, and K. Vitamin A is high in carrots and something else. But I know it's high in carrots. Oh, sweet potato. Carrots and sweet potato, because of the carotene. The orange color gives it that vibrant, beautiful look. And you can actually overdose on vitamin A. So you don't want to eat too much sweet potatoes. It can be very toxic for your body if you eat too much. But sweet potatoes is a great nutrition food, great food to eat. Okay, so those are my tips on how to meal plan. Kind of a little all over the place, but you hopefully got the idea behind that you want diversity and pick a plan. So 3 days, 3 times a day you eat, 5 times a day you eat. Just pick something and stick to it, and then drink a lot of water. You should always be drinking water all day, every day. I typically do about at least 16 ounces of water in the morning right before I eat anything. And it should keep you full until about midway in the morning, until around 10/11 a.m. And then you can start eating. And of course, don't go eating like donuts and pastries in the morning. I mean, seriously, just avoid doing that. Do yourself a favor. Look at your body as a machine. What you put in is what you're going to get out. Okay, thank you for watching. If you want a custom program, consider emailing me. Check out my stuff below. For any questions that you have, please leave them below. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you in the next video.